Hi, my name is Brendan. I'm from the Lawrence Arms.
And we're here with Brendan at the Lawrence Arms at No Effects Show in Norfolk. You can hear in the background the loved ones are kind of going on right now. I guess first thing I want to ask you, the new album, can't even pronounce it, O Calcutta, coming out. It's a tongue twister. Coming out March 12th? 7th, yeah. One word to describe it, if you could sum it up one word.
I think it's pretty good. I think it's 2 words, but I think
good.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
How was the process going into writing and recording? It seems like there's more of a emphasis on kind of the dueling vocals together as opposed to.
Oh, for sure. This I'm glad you brought this up. This is me and Chris decided we were gonna make this record. We sat down and we talked pretty in depth about some of the themes we wanted to explore and the things that we wanted to say on this record and the things we wanted to do. And we were like, what is it about punk rock that made us fall in love with it in the first place? And we came up with this list of ideas and this sort of attitude. And I mean, it was everything from what I always loved? I always loved when Guns N' Roses put those weird riffs that were totally inappropriate, just between parts of the verse. So it's okay, well, we're going to do that, And then it was I love the way that when you listen to 15's record Buzz, it's so clearly, it's those 3 guys against the world, and they're fuck you all, we're here to fucking have fun. And so we were this is what we want to make a record about, It's unity, brotherhood, friendship, love, drinking as not an escape or a destructive mechanism, but as a sort of empowering therapy, and that was before we'd ever written a note of this record, and the only thing, the logical conclusion to that is we have to sing it all together because that's what it's about. It's literally about our voices together and our brotherhood. It's Chris has been my best friend since I was 10, and I mean this record is as much about me and him being best friends and Neil and the 3 of us being best friends as it's about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wouldn't make sense for us to do The Greatest Story Ever Told in sort of its construction with this sort of theme. I mean, Greatest Story Ever Told was all about marginalization and disconnectedness, and so it was really appropriate that we took that to such a huge extreme, where we put really ludicrous pop culture references right next to really serious literary references and stuff like that, and then my really short, snide songs with Chris's longer, more earnest songs. It was but obviously we did that, and it's we were never gonna out Greatest Story Ever Told, Greatest Story Ever Told. With just 10-second blast speed songs and then a 20-minute ballad, and that's the end. Yeah. And then it comes with a accompanying book. So this was a response to Greatest Story Ever Told, but also very much paying tribute and respect to all the things that made us fall in love with music.
So there wasn't really any pressure after the success of Greatest Story, because
there wasn't really any success with Greatest Story.
Well, and I guess a comparison I've heard a lot. It's kind of like a jawbreaker success, where there's a group of people who really love and adore it, and then maybe 10 years from now you're gonna have the masses.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but that's the thing I think is so funny is that definitely, I'm not I don't live in a fucking bubble, I know that the record has been leaked, and I see what people say about it, and they're well, this is no Greatest Story Ever Told, and it's okay, first of all, yeah, it's no Greatest Story Ever Told at all. It's not trying to be anything like that. Right. But second of all, am I the only person that remembers that when Greatest Story Ever Told came out, everybody thought it sucked balls? Everybody hated it. We got so much shit for that record,
yeah.
And it was we put it out, and people were this sucks. These guys are done. We'll never hear from them again. I mean, even we handed it into the label, and they were what is this? They're what is this music? What is this artwork? And okay, I want to take an aside and say that, like, I think, I'm glad we made the record. I'm glad we made it exactly the way we did. I really am proud of it. This wasn't a response to that record in terms of like, oh God, we did something that nobody liked, we better fix it. You know what I mean? But it's just that we had done that already.
Yeah.
You know? And again, and even more than that, we had a real idea about what we wanted to do with this record. You know, and like, I don't know if I'm like totally getting ahead of myself or like snuffing your questions or whatever,
no,
but
not at
like,
all.
but you know, Greatest Story Ever Told is considered to be like a concept record, and really, we kind of made it into a concept record as we were finishing up putting together with the songs. We were like, wow, we could really tie all this stuff together. This record, we had the concept before we had written any of the songs, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that, and you know, I'm not trying to overly defend it because I think it's awesome. I think it stands on its own merits or whatever. But like, people are like, well, this is just like, you know, it's not so well thought out. The last record was so meticulously crafted. It's like this record is like 10 times more meticulously crafted than the last one.
Yeah.
But it's like fucking film editing, man. You only notice it if it's bad. You know?
Yeah, and you can have your own perception of it and see it as you want to see it, you know?
Exactly, and it's like I would hate for my intentionality to get in the way of what people can gain or take from the music that we make. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because like what I mean is ultimately not important at all.
Right.
It's what it sounds like to listeners. You know?
Yeah.
So
One thing about Greatest Story that I think I kind of picked up, and maybe I'm the only one in the world, but it didn't seem like, I guess in a sense of records where you have that single or that song, it seemed like every song on there was great, but there was no single song or single songs that really stood out. They were all a collection of great songs.
sure.
Calcutta, do you have any on there that you think, wow, this is a...
It's kind of weird. I mean, I agree with you, but like, I think every song on No Calcutta kind of stands out on its own.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know I'm very conscious of the fact that I sound like some sort of like egomaniacal dickhole when I say something like that. And, you know, whatever, like whether or not, you know, somebody likes our band or not, I mean, it just, I don't know.
It's like picking your favorite kid.
Exactly. That's a good way to describe it. It's not so much that I think every song is kick-ass. It's that I'm pretty pleased with them all. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like we did the best we could. I really feel like we put everything we could into all these songs. If you don't like them, you don't like them. That's fine. But like, but yeah, I mean, like, I think we tried to really set a standard and live up to that standard.
Are you guys including a good portion of those in the rotation in your set list right now, or?
Well, on this tour, you know, it's like we play in front of NoFX fans. It's like you can't fuck around with like long songs. People are like, "Hey, I'd really like to hear, you know, Your Gravest Words," and it's like, are you fucking out of your mind? Like, you want to see the new world record for a group of people yelling the word faggots? Like, you know, like it's like, you know, you can't just go up in front of a NoFX crowd and play like slow, long songs. And you know, it's like these people came to see NoFX. If we can turn them on a little before NoFX gets up there, that's radical. So we're playing a lot of fast, short songs.
Cut It Up?
We're playing Cut It Up, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And,